Hello and welcome back to my channel. And here we go for another episode of TN Tuesday where it's very early in the morning, where I'm working on my story, The First 60 Years. And today, or this week, I worked in the technology insert and just a little tiny bit on this composition size notebook, which I'll get back to in a few moments. So after having worked on telephones, which I covered in one of my previous shares, I thought I would go on to television. And I think one of the things that I absolutely learned as I was going through and I was recording this is how I've never really been, I guess, a real TV lover or watcher. I mean, I've had TVs all my life. Well, I don't actually have one now, but it's never taken a very central role. So as I look at how I recorded it, because I recorded it from my point of view, and therefore the television sets that I had, you'll see that I was never very modern, and I certainly have not jumped on the bandwagon of all of these newer TVs today, the flat screens, the large screens, and all of that good stuff I don't have. Anyway, what got me to actually just record this was the last couple of inserts that I did, the one, of course, of watching the Beatles, and also JFK's assassination, unfortunately, which are probably the two most earliest memories that I have of TV. This is circa, I think, 1963, and our TV pretty much looked like this real black and white type TV. They were big, sturdy. They were actually pieces of furniture, I guess, back in those days. There were certainly only a very, very few channels. We had rabbit ears, which I forgot to actually record in here, that we put on top of the TV, which was sort of like a little antenna with two little ears, which would allow us to maybe get a few extra channels. So in total, probably 3 or 4 channels that finished quite early in the day and started in the morning. And I was not allowed, of course, to watch TV during the evenings, except for exceptions, but was allowed. And what I do remember in these early years was watching the Flintstones at lunchtime when I came home for lunch, and watching the cartoons on Saturday mornings when my parents got up a little bit later, and I was allowed to watch cartoons in the morning and get myself cereal for breakfast. Then we jump here ahead to 1974, where I helped my mom with one of my very first paychecks, student paychecks, to buy a color TV. Because color TVs by this point had been out for quite a while, but we didn't have one, so we used to all go congregate to my aunt's a couple of kilometers away from where we lived to watch the more important things, like the landing on the moon in 1969, and a very specific TV program here in Quebec, Les Beaux Dimanches, that we used to watch every Sunday evening. So we would go for dinner at my aunt's, we'd all congregate in their little TV room to watch color TV. But in 1974, we got color TV. Then fast forward ahead to 1994 or so, when I got divorced, and I had this little tiny 13-inch, this is exactly what it looked like, TV, color TV. I did have cable. People used to kid with me and say, oh my God, when are you going to get a real TV? Well, believe it or not, this TV died about 3 years ago now, maybe 4, well, maybe a little bit longer, but anyway, certainly not more than 5 years ago. And I had that TV right through until then, and it met my needs. I had a VCR or a DVD player. I've never had a DVR, so I'll get back to that in another spread, but that sort of made me realize that TV was not central, I guess, to my life. And then now, once that TV died, I had not had cable or anything like that for a few years. I just now stream through my computer, and the majority of my TV now is YouTube, Netflix, and BritBox through my TV, and maybe a tennis channel. So there you go. So that is the progression of TV in my life, and you're probably all sitting back going, oh my God, that's lame. Nowhere close. But there you have it, and I've enjoyed all of the TVs that I had, but that is all the place that TV has taken in my life. So there you go. That is this week's insert, and I enjoy doing this memory keeping almost as much for the memories itself, but for making me for being conscious, I guess, of how certain things, events, affected me and the place they took in my life. So here you go. So these are all lovely little scraps that I had on my desk. Beautiful sequins from Spiegel Mom Scraps. This is actually Life in Color from Simple Stories. This, I think, is from Whimsical. This is a Stampin' Up! Paper. These are all very, very old supplies, except maybe for this one. This was in my current How to Kill a Kit with Style, with this little butterfly. And then this, again, scraps that were all of those TN scraps that I showed you the last time, with this little bit from Simple Stories. This is also a Simple Stories sticker that I just used here because these bits didn't quite make it to the bottom of my page, and then I used the rest of it here pointing up to the monitor, and that's actually the kind of monitor that I actually do have. And yet again, just a little bit of decoration here with my Spiegel Mom Scraps sequin mix, and some alpha beans that I used throughout. So there you go. So that is where I'm at in technology, and I guess the next one I will probably do will be VCRs, DVD players, and DVDs, and that kind of thing, and the place they took in my life. DVDs probably even a little bit more than actually TV. And then the last thing I want to share with you today is I have decided to record my travels in this composition size notebook that I got from Rock Your Notebook. And the only thing I have done so far is a title page. And here I used, this is a Chamel die cut, and then pretty much the rest of these all come from the Here and There collection, one of my kits from the Secret Not Secret Kit Club that I just cut out and pasted around the world. Remember, adventure, wander, explore, travel. And then this here, before I left on my backpacking trip in 2005, a friend of mine actually gave me this Dr. Seuss book, which was Oh, the Places You'll Go. So I just crossed that off and replaced it here with I Went. A few wood veneers, an airplane, a car, a bicycle, the word fly here, another airplane. It's a shame I don't have a train or a bus wood veneer, because I did do a lot of that during my my trip. Forget the routine, which is what travel helps us do. So there you go. So I just prepared my title page here, and we'll get into that one. So that will be the 5th perspective. So there you go. Thank you so much for joining me for another TN Traveler's Notebook Tuesday, and I will see you again next week. Thank you for all your support. Let me know, what place did TV play in your life, either as a child or today? Do you have favorite series? Do you still watch TV? Or is everybody now just doing streaming and that kind of thing, pretty much like I am? Or do people still use cable and actual TV and set aside a specific time during the week to watch their favorite show? Let me know down below what part TV plays in your life. Talk to you soon. Bye.